many of you golfers out there are really struggling with the way that your club is interacting with the ground when you're hitting iron shots. And it's something that I've seen countless amount of times down the years. People hitting the floor before the ball rather than hitting the ground after the ball. But the big question that we've got to be asking is, why exactly do we have to hit the ground? It's often been thought that hitting the ground would mean that we were actually hitting down on the golf ball, but this is simply not true. We can actually hit down on the ball, but the club doesn't necessarily have to interact with the ground. And something that I've seen since using launch monitor technology is how many golfers out there are hitting the ground before the ball, but the lowest point in their golf swing is actually ahead of the ball. And it's almost always the case in this scenario that the player's golf swing is just too low, either because of the way that they're setting up or what's happening to their posture during the golf swing. So with that in mind, if you're hitting the ground before the golf ball, why don't we just take the ground completely out of the equation? And that's what we're going to do in this video with a very, very simple concept. So let's pop over to the hitting mat and take a look at this really simple idea. Right, here's this idea, or drill, something to practice at the practice ground or driving range. One of the reasons why I see people hitting the ground before the ball isn't because the lowest point in the arc is behind the ball, like we said a little bit earlier. It's actually ahead of the ball, and I've measured this with launch monitor technology. The main reason why the club is hitting the floor before the ball is because the player is too close to the ground. Either at address, there's too much knee flex, or maybe too much hinging at the hips, or through the swing, the player moves towards the ball. So all I want you to do, from the very start, in your address position, I want you to feel as though you're pushing yourself up away from the ground using your feet, to the point where you feel as though your golf club is actually just hovering slightly above the mat. So it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable at first, but with practice, like most things, it'll start to become more natural over time. And then that feeling and sensation of pushing yourself away from the ground, I want you to maintain that throughout the entire golf swing. And like in that shot, didn't touch the ground, but I've been measuring myself with the launch monitor using this simple idea. And although I'm not hitting the ground, I'm actually hitting about 4 or 5 degrees down on the golf ball. So hopefully that really simple tip and idea is going to help you. Let me know in the comments below if it does. I'll see you all again soon. Take care.